I gave up medicine in '84 and took up physics instead. The whole subject of light, of optical density, fascinated me. And I flung myself into research in whatever spare moments I had. I was working under frightful disadvantages. I was just a shabby, poverty-stricken demonstrator, hemmed in by a lot of silly, gaping students. And a professor called Hobbema, a sort of scientific bounder who's always prying and thieving ideas.
Ah, Griffin. Stuart and I wondered if you care to join us for lunch in town today.
Thank you, but I'm not hungry.
My dear fellow, you must take some nourishment. Stuart tells me that you missed breakfast again this morning.
Stuart, like others, should learn to mind his own business.
His concern was well meant.
Perhaps.
Well, I have no wish to interrupt your work. Tell me, are you any nearer to testing your hypothesis experimentally? Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, you must keep it to yourself. I'm just naturally curious to know when you'll publish your findings. Of course, if you don't wish to discuss it...
Professor Hobbema, what do you know of optical density?
Oh, I know the whole subject's a network of riddles.
I've discovered a general principle on pigments and refraction.
A formula, you mean?
A geometrical expression involving 4 dimensions.
Go on.
A method by which it will be possible, without changing any other property of matter, except colors in some instances, to lower the refractive index of a substance to that of air.
Or liquid.
Solid or liquid.
Extraordinary.
No doubt you know as much of molecular physics as I do, but let me put the elementary facts to you as if you didn't. It will make my meaning clearer. Any schoolboy knows that if an object neither reflects, nor refracts, nor absorbs light, then it cannot of itself be visible.
It's plain sailing.
For instance, a transparent thing becomes practically invisible if it is put into any medium of almost the same refractive index. If I put this piece of common glass into water thus, then it almost vanishes from sight, because light passing from water to glass is only slightly affected in any way. It's almost as invisible as a jet of gas in air, and for precisely the same reason. If I were to smash the same piece of glass and beat it into a powder, it would become much more visible while it's in the air.
Well, naturally, the powder multiplies the surfaces of the glass.
But if the powder glass is put back into water, then it vanishes again.
Forgive me, but as you say, this is very elementary.
Think of all the things that are transparent and seem not to be. This paper, for instance. If I were to soak it in oil, it would become as transparent as glass.
Is this what's been occupying all your spare time this term?
Not only paper, Professor Hobbema. Cotton fiber, wood fiber, bone. Bone, Professor. And flesh, Professor. And hair, and nails, and nerves. Now, do you begin to understand what's been occupying my time? The whole fabric of man, except the red of his blood and the dark pigment of his hair, is made up of transparent, colorless tissue. You and I, Professor Hobbema, are as transparent as a sheet of glass.
But, if a man were made of glass, he would still be visible.
See.
Really, Griffin, I am trying to understand.
You are saying, then, that there is no such thing as an invisible animal?
I suppose that's what I'm saying, yes.
In the sea, Professor, there are thousands, millions. All the larvae, all the little nauplii and tornarians.
Yes,
specks
yes,
of colourless,
in water,
translucent...
perhaps, but not in air.
I need money, Hobbema.
I beg your pardon? Money?
To continue.
Just how far have you got with your experiments on physiology?
On pigments, to make blood colourless and yet remain with all the functions that it has.
You'll publish?
Of course. And when I publish, no one will share my credit. You'll make nothing of this. It's in cipher.
Well, we must talk again. Very soon. Oh. Stuart, you'll never forgive me. No doubt I shall see you in the common room at tea time.
left the college soon after that, took a place in London. A large attic room not far from Town Bridge. I worked there as I'd never worked before, immersing myself in research. Infinite detail, Kemp. Exasperation, no idea. Month after month, every mountain of difficulty I pointed over showed another from its summit. And then, suddenly, one afternoon last June, I found myself with scarcely a difficulty left beyond the planning of details.